let's get straight to the debate then. Dr. Sambit Patra of the BJP joining us this evening. Sushil Pandit, an activist also from our Noida studios. RSN Singh, defense analyst, also with us. On the other side, we've got Mr. Naved Hamid, the president of the AIMMM. Inam Ul Nabi, spokesperson for the AIP, joining us from Srinagar. And Shabnam Lone, lawyer and activist, joining us from the national capital. But first to you, Mr. Ankur Sharma. He is the viewer, he is the petitioner of the case that is being heard in the top court, and it is in this case where the Supreme Court has asked the state and the centre to look into this matter and come back with a response to who is really the minority in the state. Now, Ankur Sharma, I just want to start with what the state government's response has been. There is nobody from the state government here to explain their side of the story, but let's look at the hearing itself. Now, the state government has told the court the petitioner has chosen to file the public interest litigation only against the state of Jammu and Kashmir with unclean hands and hidden agenda. They've also gone on to say that the petitioner has no locus standi and no public interest is really involved in this case. And that's really been the state's defense when it comes to this kind of allocation of schemes and SOPs for minorities that are being given to the majority in the state. So, Ankur Sharma, tell us and our viewers, please, what is your hidden agenda and what is it really that you've gone to court for?
Yeah, this is an old stale storyline which the state government is reiterating time and again that has come with some hidden agenda. The fact of the matter is, I filed this petition in the Honorable Supreme Court of India seeking identification of religious and linguistic minorities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir so that rights available to them under Article 29 and 30 of the Constitution of India should be given to them, which as on date are being siphoned off by majority community of the state. So I filed a petition seeking identification of actual minorities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
Can you give us an example for better understanding for our viewers and panelists also as we take this debate to others here? Can you give us an example of what should have been rightfully for another community is being given perhaps in a bid to appease them?
Please understand, Constitution has special privileges for a minority community. And there are various scholarship schemes, soft loans, reservations in educational institutions, autonomy to educational and medical institutions, and a host of other schemes which only minorities can enjoy. So once the minorities are not identified at a state level according to the law of the land, then these schemes are given to those people who do not qualify to be minorities. So what is due to A is being given away to Y for political reasons. So against this, I came before the court and sought identification of minorities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. I also sought extension of National Commission for Minorities Act 1992, which is a central act under which minorities at the national level are identified. So these are primarily two prayers with which I have approached the Honorable Supreme Court of India. And this is a big scam from the last many decades. What is due to A is being given away to Y. So this is a huge scam. This is a loss to the state exchequer. I've also sought an independent investigation by the state vigilance organization into this entire scam. That how did you give away something to illegal, unqualified sections of the society?
But that's what you are alleging
for minorities.
That's your petition. That's your petition, and we'll try and debate this. Let the people decide what is being practiced in Jammu and Kashmir.
It is a matter of record.
Let's open the panel. Let's open the panel. Let's bring in our other panelists also, Ankur. I've got Inam Ul Nabi, I've got Naved Hamid, Shabnam Lone, Sambit Patra, Sushil Pandit and RSN Singh. Sushil Pandit, Sambit Patra, RSN Singh. Before I come across to you, let's understand from Inam Ul Nabi. Muslims, are they a majority in Jammu and Kashmir or are they a minority?
Please treat first Muslims in Jammu and Kashmir as humans. The way you have been treating
so we treat them as humans, but everybody treats everybody as humans. I don't know what the perception or what the definition for you is. What the definition for you is?
Armed youth today that has shaken us. That has shaken the way you have.
My question to you was straightforward. Inam Ul Nabi, why do you have to give me a convoluted answer to a straight question? I'm asking you, are Muslims a majority or a minority in Jammu and Kashmir?
Despite being in majority, you are turning in minority. You have been
we are turning it in minority.
Last, 50 years.
We are turning it in minority for the last 50 years. That's the standard answer or standard operating. Naved Hamid, according to you, 68% population in Jammu and Kashmir are Muslims, majority or minority in Jammu and Kashmir.
Anand, today only 3 unarmed civilians were killed. And you please treat us humans first. Please give us right to live first. Then discuss the majority and minority.
Sir, these people were pelting stones at a counter-terrorism operation. That's a different debate altogether. So you please first tell me 60 soldiers were injured. So where is your pain for them? Inam Ul Nabi, Inam Ul Nabi, don't divert the debate. Don't divert the debate. You decide. You cannot have selective compassion. You cannot have selective compassion. You treat the soldiers. You treat the soldiers of this country as Indians first. You treat yourself as an Indian first, and you please tell us. You first turn around and tell those people not to pelt stones before you have any sympathy for terrorists. Inam Ul Nabi, my question was different. The debate is different. Don't digress. Don't digress. Well tried. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Inam Ul Nabi, think. Where has your conscience gone? Where has your conscience gone when 60 soldiers were injured? Inam Ul Nabi, go find your conscience and then come back and join us the debate. Join us in the debate. Hang on. I'm not going to listen to this nonsense. You debate what you want to debate. Now you're on a weak wicket. You're caught out today, so that's why you got nothing to say. You practice this majoritarianism blatantly. You're talking about persecution. 1990, 6 lakh Hindus forced out of Kashmir. That is persecution, and if persecution is merit for getting a minority quota, then Hindus should have been labelled by the state as minorities in Jammu and Kashmir in 1990 itself. We are sitting in 2017 and it's not been done. So you first go and find your conscience and then come back and talk to me, Inam Ul Nabi.
157 Muslims in 1 year. 157
Sir, they are people. We don't count the bodies as per as religion. We count them as soldiers and terrorists. The more terrorists that they fell, the better for India. The more soldiers that are hurt, you will find my ire. That's my point of view. There is no religion that comes as far as guarding the nation is concerned. And that matter is settled. You please go and find your conscience and tell me 1990 after that forced exodus, which government had the conscience and where was your conscience? How many times have you stood up to say, let's declare the real minority in Jammu and Kashmir as the real minority and give them the benefit that they deserve, because only the state has the powers to do it. You have not done it. So find your conscience and then come back to me.
Inam Ul Nabi, I have one question to you. I have one question. Okay, calm down. I have one question for you. If there is so much of angst about what is really happening against this country, against the government, then why is it, Inam Ul Nabi, that all these SOPs and schemes and incentives that are coming out by the government are being used? Why use them? If you're so anti-state, if you're so anti-government, if you're so anti-India, if you're so anti-forces, if you so don't want to be part of this entire setup, then how on earth are you using the special schemes and incentives and the money and the funds that are being put in? What kind of hypocrisy is this?
Yes.
What kind of an hypocrisy is this? You will take all the benefits and then you will sit and cry about persecution.
Scheme on us.
You will take all the benefits and then you will sit and cry about persecution.
You have used detaining under our young people under PSA.
You are misleading the young people, sir. Nobody else is betraying the young people. The young people who actually know the reality of your state are lining up to join the police forces. The people you are siding with are telling these young people to not join the police forces. And then you turn around and say, give us incentives. You want your young people to sit in your homes, pick up guns and not work for the country. Sushil Pandit, let's get back to the topic, because this debate, he clearly has specific things in his head and he's only going to debate that. Tanvi. He doesn't want to go elsewhere. But here is the point. And how is it it has gone on for so long? If it is in appeasement politics, then what is it?
I'll tell you. Tanvi, to bring it back on rails, the debate, what I'm trying to first of all inform through you, your viewers, is that the law which was passed way back in 90s is not applicable in the state of Jammu and Kashmir because of Article 370.
Yes.
Article 370 comes in the way of a whole lot of other progressive legislations that are giving rights to the citizens of India but do not give the same rights to the citizens of Jammu and Kashmir. So it is this Article 370 which needs to go away, but which has been protected by successive governments And when the entire country waited for BJP to come to power in order to remove this Article 370, they promised to keep it there. That's number one.
The National Commission for Minorities Act, you say, does not apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir, sir. But
it doesn't.
But to the people of this country,
because of Article 370.
To the people of this country, please look at this. This is an advertisement, Directorate of Social Welfare Kashmir, Government of Jammu and Kashmir, advertisement notice. This is pre-metric scholarship scheme for the students belonging to minority communities for the year 2015-2016.
Yes. Now this is the second part.
No, read this passage. No, read this passage. Read this passage, sir. Read this passage. This is important. They are saying applications invited from the students belonging to minority communities notified by the central government. If they are talking about Article 370 on the one hand and saying you cannot abrogate Article 370 and they stand by it, then why are they quoting the notification of the central government of the NCM?
Precisely.
Why are they doing it?
Precisely.
So when convenient,
because they know which side of the bread is buttered. They know which side of the bread is buttered.
Exactly.
They know how to burn candle at both the ends.
Exactly.
When it comes to denying rights to the actual minorities, they will use Article 370 to deny them. But when it comes to usurping their rights, they will use the same laws that central government, the same schemes that central government promulgates in order to swallow it up,
sir,
and deny it to the right.
The very act of the central government, which they are quoting, they are flouting that also brazenly. Let me tell our viewers, sir, and we are coming with facts today. We are being bold, we are being direct, and we are telling our viewers the truth, the absolute truth. This is a section, this is as far as the National Commission for Minorities Act 1992. The target group of the program consists of eligible sections, the minorities notified under Section 2C of the National Commission for Minorities Act 1992, that is Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists and Zoroastrians. Hindus are not mentioned in this one. But this is what is mentioned and this is what I want to highlight. Where one of the minority communities notified under Section 2C of the National Commission of Minorities Act is in fact in majority. The earmarking of physical financial targets under the different schemes will be only for the other notified minorities, so not for Muslims, for Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists and Zoroastrians, and the state should have legislated to ensure that Hindus also come under the ambit. They have not done it. That's the reality. These are states of Jammu and Kashmir, Punjab, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland, Lakshadweep is the only union territory in this group. This is part of the NCM which is being brazenly flouted. And flouted and how? Flouted and how? One more piece of paper. 99% of minority institutes 2014-2015. The first two institutes are registered under the minority name Muslim in Jammu and Kashmir. How brazenly they are flouting this, how brazenly they are flouting this law. How brazenly they are, like Sushil Pandit said, burning the candle from both ends.
How brazenly you
That is exactly what they are doing. You find your conscience and then come back and talk on the debate in Inam Ul Nabi. You've tried to divert the topic, the real issue enough. We are calling your bluff tonight. We are calling your bluff tonight. Sambit Patra, why is the center taking its time to take a position, sir?
Even he is enjoying in the name of minorities.
The center has already taken a position.
Yes.
The centre has already filed a reply, and let me correct you. In fact, day before yesterday, the centre...
in Delhi for rupees 3,000.
Inam Ul Nabi, please hold on a minute. The question wasn't for you. Please listen to what the other side has to say. Yeah, Shamit, go ahead, please.
This is a very sensitive and a serious issue. It is a long pending issue, and the centre has already filed a reply day before yesterday. The centre in its reply had said that, well, yes, even if the state does not have a state minority commission, but it is incumbent upon the state that the state should protect the interests of the minorities. Minorities in this case being the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Buddhists and the Jains in Jammu and Kashmir. And in fact, the Jammu and Kashmir government has conceded that they would sit with the centre center, discuss with the center on this line, and thereafter they would receive the decision that flows from Supreme Court. So in fact, after a long time, remember when Wajahat Habibullah was in fact the chief of National Commission of Minorities during the UPA days, he had written innumerable letters to the then Home Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, but he had not got a single reply. But for the first time, the center has replied to this and has replied affirmatively, accepting to the fact that Muslims constitute 68% in Jammu and Kashmir, Hindus constitute 24%, and others constitute minuscule numbers in Jammu and Kashmir. So the interest of the minorities there has to be protected.
Okay, all right. Shamit, I do have a follow-up on that, but I just want to quickly first go across to our other guests and coming across to you, Mr. Naved Hamid. Now, why is it when it comes to the benefits and the incentives, the state government very quickly turns around and starts using the rules which are available or looking at the loopholes which are available to try and appease to one specific community? How convenient is this? Rest of the time you're an autonomous state, you are governed by your own set of rules, you don't want to be part of what the center policies are, but when it's convenient and you want to take the quota of a minority which is effectively the real minority in the state government is not doing it. What are netas trying to do if not appease here?
The question is very sensitive, as Sambit Patra has put it that. You know that it requires a very in-depth study why this has been done for long.
Oh. Okay.
You know, Wajahat Habibullah, and before that, even when Hamid Ansari was the chairman of the National Commission of Minorities, in one of the meeting, if I recall correctly, I was also there. This question was raised that Hindus of Punjab, of some of the northeastern states,
yes,
and Jammu and Kashmir,
yes,
needs to be bracketed with the minority tag.
So why doesn't Jammu and Kashmir have a minorities commission to begin with?
I do agree that.
Why do you think that Jammu and Kashmir doesn't have a minorities commission? Does it make it easier to go around the loopholes and take the benefits and give it to whoever you want to give it to without following any rules and regulations, without giving it to people who really need it?
Let me submit. Let me say, if you run your commentary, then I would not be able to respond to your query.
Please go ahead, sir.
You know,
my question is finished.
It is irony of the politicians of this country that
yes,
they. Should I continue?
Yes, yes, please.
Should I continue? It is irony in this country that the politicians from across political lines, they use and they exploit constitution as per their whims and if I correctly recalls that the previous government has not responded. That was said, and that was said for two accounts. Number one is that Hindus are part of the minority community in Jammu and Kashmir. I do agree, and the other part of worry was that the gentleman who was heading the NCM at that moment of time was a Congress appointee. So they were not responding to an appointee of their government. Number three, you know that if Supreme Court or Government of India decides, or if we all decides that yes, Hindus definitely are part of the minority family in Jammu and Kashmir.
What's there to decide in that? What's there to decide in that, sir? That's my whole point. What's there to decide in that? Haven't they also been persecuted? Haven't they been chased out of their homes? Aren't they also living in refugee camps? Are they not in minority? Are Hindus the biggest population in Jammu and Kashmir? It's not. So what is the doubt in that?
But let me respond. Don't run your commentary. Don't run your commentary.
It's not a commentary. It's a question. Follow-up question to what you've said.
My response.
It's a follow-up question to what you've said.
Please bear with me. Please bear with me.
Yeah.
You know that. No. Let me complete my sentence. You know that I totally agree that Hindus needs to be bracketed in the minority frame anywhere, even in Punjab,
yes,
even in Northeast.
Yes.
Why we only talk about Jammu and Kashmir? Why we only are concerned about Jammu and Kashmir?
No, we are talking about Punjab too. That matter is also applies with the Supreme Court.
Why don't your channel? Why don't your channel?
We are talking about We are talking about Punjab too, because sir, at the drop of a hat, all that is spoken about is the so-called persecution of the people of Kashmir. That's what the first argument came. I'm saying, sir, when 23 Hindus were killed by Lashkar-e-Toiba terrorists in 1998, was that not persecution? If persecution is the excuse, then the Hindus should have been named as minorities in the state of Jammu and Kashmir way back in 1998. 20 years later, we are still asking the same question, Mr. Hamid. So my question is, sir, please tell me, Mr. Naved Hamid, had this happened in any other state in India today? Had this happened in any other state in India today? Had this happened in any other state in India today? Will you have not come out with all your cudgels blazing, saying this is affecting the secular fabric of the country? Ab kahan gaya secular fabric, sir? Where is the secular fabric now is my question, sir.
आप पूरी तो बात सुनने दीजिए
सर इसको बड़े ध्यान से सोचना होगा, समझना होगा। सर 20 साल बाद हम समझते रहेंगे, 35 साल बाद हम समझते रहेंगे।
सोच रहा हूं I'm supporting your point of view, but with some riders.
I know, sir, these riders always come. These riders always come when we ask questions.
Why Times Now is not debating on the minority tag of...
Sir, we are debating everything, sir. We are debating everything. Sir, you are being selective in choosing the debates that you want to raise and the points that you want to highlight. That's my submission, Mr. Hamid. Sir, I'm bringing in our other panelists who have not spoken so far. RSN Singh and Shabnam Lone. RSN Singh, please come in, please. Where is it that you stand? The Constitution does not define as to who constitutes a minority.
One last point.
Naved Sahab, I'll come back to you, sir. Naved Sahab, 27 minutes into the debate, two panelists have not spoken. Naved Sahab, I'll come back to you. Please bear with me. Please bear with me. Naved Sahab, please bear with me. RSN Singh. The Supreme Court judgment of 2002 says religious or linguistic minority to be considered, then the responsibility falls squarely on the state government to identify and define who constitutes a minority. For the Jammu and Kashmir government, RSN saying 68% of the population falls under minority. For that, they quote the central government. When it comes to defining the majority, real minority, they quote Article 370.
Is being spending in Jammu.
RSN Singh.
Anand, in case of J&K, it has very serious ramifications. Being located, at the juncture of between China and Pakistan. So let me tell you this, that as far as political dividends of demography is concerned, or other dividends are concerned, they as far as politics is concerned, they treat themselves as a majority. When it comes to economic dividends or religious agenda, then they treat themselves as minorities. I'm talking about some people in the Kashmir Valley. This is the reality. But the fact of the matter here is that people, a majority which fancies itself as a majority community, living in just 7% of the total area, cannot decide the minority status or the minority aspirations of Ladakhis, Buddhists who are living in more than 25% area, or the Hindus who are living in 11% of the area, in the Jammu region. If you take the larger context, now let me tell you, this 7% majority, even if you combine it with that truncated part of POK, it cannot decide on the minority status or the minority affairs or the minority aspirations of more than 50% of J&K, which includes Gilgit, Pakistan and Kargil, where Shias are predominant.
Yes, but RSN Singh, the point here is Netas are doing this.
It is a very strange...
RSN Singh, the point here is the Netas are doing this, and Netas have been doing it government after government
Now-
after government. So
now
we have
people-
to question the netas.
Ma'am, just allow me to complete. I'm making a very serious point, What I'm saying, now people living here in 7% of the area, they cannot decide on people who have borders with China. They cannot decide these people, staying in the valley, even if they are in majority. They cannot decide on the affairs of the minorities who have borders with Pakistan. Do you know these people living in Kashmir Valley, some of them, the leaders, and there is so-called, activists or separatists, they're the biggest liars. They have never heard a bullet being fired from across the border. Do you know they're far, far away? Even they are not accountable to the
whatever
butcher.
it is,
They are
whatever
not
it
butcher
is,
Muslims.
they should have heard the voice of the people who are Kashmiris.
So therefore, this logic of majoritism is being skewed. It is being taken to ugly extents. Just
Sir,
to
that is exactly what we are saying today. That is exactly what we are saying today. And how is this fair? How is this fair? If 28% of the population in Jammu and Kashmir cannot be given the status and regarded as minority, if tomorrow somebody turns and asks why should 14.2% of the Muslim population in this country be treated as minority? They are not minorities. They're as good as people. They're as good as any other segment. Those who are minorities are Jains, are Zoroastrians, are Sikhs, whose numbers are not even to that number. 170 million people are Muslims.
And Anand, tell your panelists not to make very clever use of Punjab. I can have a big debate on Punjab.
Sir,
No, that is a point, sir, and at that point we will go across to Sambit Patra and ask him on it in just a bit. But I want to bring in Shabnam Lone. Thank you for patiently waiting by Shabnam Lone. You are a legal expert as well. Now, is it a time the Jammu and Kashmir government at least first moved ahead in terms of setting up a minority commission? Shouldn't that be the beginning of, in a fair way, giving off these funds, the schemes and the incentives that have been planned and are being dispersed either by the state or the centre? What is this haphazard manner of doing it?
Well, Tanvi and Anand, just give me 2 minutes now, since you came to me very late. Let me start by saying I'm sure it is neither Times Now nor Tanvi nor Anand. It's not your aim to be deeply offensive to the Muslim majority hard-working people of Jammu and Kashmir. You see, there are people who work hard. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, business entrepreneurs, and they are not dependent on any giveaways or any arms from the state government.
Who is insulting them? Who is
Anand, I saw you read that. I'm sure, and it is your right to defend Kashmiri Pandits or other minorities who have been treated very unfairly. But that does not mean that you offend the other half of the state.
Shabnam Lone,
second,
I don't think.
let me come to this.
No, I'm going to correct you here, because that's not what we are doing. So please don't try and put it across like that. My constitution tells me that in our country, minorities, no matter in which part they are, if they are a minority in that region, their rights have to be protected and safeguarded, and their interests have to be promoted.
Okay, Tanvi. Now let me start from it.
If the minorities are not Muslims,
no emotional semantics.
Make it into something else.
Listen to me, Tanvi. Listen to me. No emotional
semantics. The rest of the country today should be offended that they also are the Constitution people, and we are insulting
the Constitution
them.
Does the first question is, does the Constitution define the word minorities?
Yes.
The answer is no. The Constitution does not define the word minorities, right? Now, we had a Central Minorities Commission which was passed in the 90s.
Can I?
And the other learned panelists have rightly pointed out that there is not a state minority commission in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. This petition that has been filed, now let me start by Article 238 of the Constitution of India.
Ankur, you're listening.
It straight away says that it does not apply to the state of Jammu and Kashmir because of Article 370.
So if that's the case, why is the Jammu and Kashmir government quoting it in all their advertisements and allotting these quotas to Muslims? Why are they doing it?
Now listen to me.
No, you listen to me, Shabnam Lone. Answer this.
Anand, about this particular order that you read. Please, Anand, I want you and I, we get together.
Yeah.
No, this is the kitty. This is the fraud. You go ask people, ask the CBI. Ask the CBI
why
to
ask
investigate.
Anybody? I am going to ask
I'm
the
telling
Muftis
you,
and the Abdullahs. I am going to ask anybody else.
10 out of 100.
Madam, if you believe that this law does not apply, there are two questions. If I were to go with you that as per Article 370, this law does not apply. This NCM Act,
you
that
see,
is the
Supreme
National
Court,
Commission
with
Act
great
1990,
respect,
does not apply.
does not. Supreme Court, with great respect, cannot make the law.
The Supreme Court twice,
with great respect,
Supreme
cannot
Court,
make the law.
They can.
Supreme Court interprets the law.
Has defined
when there is
who
no
minorities
state
are.
minorities
The National
commission
Commission for Minorities
in the state
has
of Jammu
clearly
and
defined
Kashmir
how the benefits, physical and financial, should be applicable.
Supreme Court cannot make the law.
If you quote Article 370, if you believe Jammu and Kashmir government should stand by Article 370, then all that has been allotted to the majority class in Jammu and Kashmir, citing the NCM and the central government, should be abolished and taken back. Shabnam Lone. Ankur Sharma, Sambit Patra, get in.
I just want to add to that, Anand, as we go to Ankur, and Ankur can also add.
I'm again on this.
I would like to add something.
I would like to add something. The law for the state of Jammu and Kashmir.
I knew you would raise this point.
307, Article 370 has got nothing to do with it.
Please listen to me. Please listen to me. I knew you would raise this point about definition of minorities, which is why when I came to you, I asked you the question, why do you think the state government of Jammu and Kashmir successively, the governments have not gotten to doing what they should have done in the first place, which is set up a Minorities Commission Act?
So can the Supreme Court make the law? The Supreme Court cannot make the law.
1 minute.
It is the state government who has to do it.
Shabnam Lone,
Supreme Court under no constitutional authority can legislate. Supreme Court cannot make the law.
Let me finish my point. Each state government is entitled to making its own Minorities Commission Act, via which they can decide what schemes have to be given, who is defined as minorities. For example, in Bihar State Minorities Act 1991, they've gone on to define minorities as persons belonging to religious and linguistic minorities residing in the state of Bihar, to whom the government of the state has recognized as minorities. Simple as that, Shabnam Lone. Let's put it down in law. Ankur Sharma,
now Shabnam Lone would always
governments and political parties successively have not put it down as law in as many words, because it is convenient for them to not do that. They can go on to play these appeasement communal politics. It is convenient to not put into paper what they think is minority in the state. It's a loophole. It's a loophole that they are misusing.
Shabnam Lone will say anything.
Ankur Sharma, please. Ankur Sharma,
go ahead.
We cannot go to the Supreme Court.
To derail this debate.
Yeah.
Shabnam Lone can say anything. Shabnam Lone can say anything.
Yeah.
But the Honorable Supreme Court of the country has said that this is a very important issue. It is a serious issue. A lot of contentious issues have been brought before the notice of the Supreme Court, and they need to be resolved.
Misfortune.
And therefore, the union,
with great respect to the honourable judges, that is a great misfortune.
No, the great misfortune is that despite past judgments of the Honourable Supreme Court, the successive governments in Jammu and Kashmir have refused to acknowledge, and even they have totally sidestepped and forgotten the Supreme Court judgments of 2002, their observations in the case in 2005. No, they have forgotten. They have forgotten. Secondly, Ankur Sharma, Sambit Patra. Sambit Patra, if my argument, we started, Sushil Pandit made the same argument. I'm coming to you with that. Naved Hamid after that, please. Sambit Patra and Ankur Sharma. Sambit Patra, if in this ad they quote the central government, this is my submission, sir. If in this ad for Directorate of Social Welfare advertisement notice, and these are students belonging to minority communities. Now please, if in this act they are quoting the central government and the National Commission for Minorities Act to define Muslims as minority in a majority state. And on the other hand, you have Shabnam Lone saying this act is not recognizable in Jammu and Kashmir because because of Article 370. Sir, you have a strong case either for abrogation of Article 370 or suing the Jammu and Kashmir government and asking them to pay damages, because that is also there, that you can
Article
fine and you have to pay damages for misuse of the NCM Act. For misuse of the NCM Act and the Prime Minister's 15-point program.
No, listen to me.
On both cases, sir, this is gross violation.
Sambit Patra. Match of Shabnam Lone comes to an end. Yeah.
Sambit Patra.
Shabnam Lone, can you please stop shouting?
Article 238 does not apply.
Okay.
Why are you all shouting?
Dr. Patra, please,
Can
go
you
ahead.
stop shouting, please? Yeah, number one, it's right that the NCM Act 1992, the National Minority Commission Act 1992, holds no water on the grounds of Jammu Kashmir because there's an intervening wall of Article 370. So in fact, what is happening since decades, remember this is a decadal practice, government after government, they have been using it to their own convenience, and Sushil Pandit was right, they were burning candles both the end. And today the Supreme Court has taken this very seriously, and the central government has intervened in the reply, which is positive. The state government has conceded that they will sit and talk with the central government and formulate to this effect. Now we should remember that in 2002 there was a very pertinent case in Supreme Court to the same effect.
TMA to make any law.
Okay.
The Supreme Court,
Madam, the Supreme Court knows more than you and me.
Interpret laws. When there is
But the Supreme Court knows more than Shabnam
can
Lone.
decide whether or not what has happened over the last 3 to 4 decades is a huge scam or not. Shabnam Lone, the Supreme Court can decide and can give redressal to all those people who have been denied their rights as minorities, as the real minorities in Jammu and Kashmir, and the state successive governments of Jammu and Kashmir led by the Abdullahs or the Muftis can be held accountable for gross misinterpretation of this NCM Act, and also appropriating what is rightfully of the minorities to the majority and to themselves. Sambit Patra.
Can I complete a very important point that I was saying?
Sambit Patra.
Shabnam Lone, you don't have to shout like this to Supreme Court.
Shabnam Lone, this jugglery of words is very fine. We all know that the Supreme Court, the Honorable Supreme Court will pass a judgment, they will direct, they will issue directions, they will not pass a law. But the directions will be stringent, ma'am, because they are apprised of the matter. Both the centre and the state have to decide either Article 370 or the National Commissions for Minority Act 1992. Because if they choose one over the other, then they will be caught out. They will be caught out. Jammu and Kashmir government will be caught out if they choose one over the other. Either one, because they've been burning the candles on both ends. That's the truth. Yes, Sambit Patra.
Shabnam Lone, you are a politician or a lawyer. You are shouting like a politician. You are not behaving like a lawyer, please.
Sambit Patra, Naved Hamid, and Sushil Pandit. Yes, Sambit Patra.
Yeah.
RSN Singh.
See, as far the lawyers are present in the panel, they can correct me if I am wrong. 2002 there was a case, an educational institution
TMA Pai case, we read it out.
And the case was of Mr. Pai, TMA Pai case with a union government, and in this case the Supreme Court had ruled that as far as the reorganization of states is concerned, that
limited time, Shabnam Lone, let him complete.
Madam, will you please stop?
Madam, will you please stop? Let him finish his point.
Madam, please behave as a lawyer. Don't shout like this.
Which says that
Madam, please behave as a lawyer. Don't behave like this. You're not a rowdy element. You're a respected lawyer.
Sovereignty. And the centre has no power.
Madam, please.
So in that case,
you know what, Shabnam, you know what? Let's
why is Shabnam Lone so hysterical? Why she's jumping on the chair?
Let's leave all of these legal arguments for the courtroom. Our point was very basic and simple here. Which is to question the fact that
let me complete this point. Let me complete this very important
point. You will be
point.
allowed to complete. I just want to make it clear because we are going on and on about technicalities, which is not for us to decide. It's for the courts and for the state governments to decide. Please, very quickly, 30 seconds.
And Shabnam Lone, if you want to quote Article 370, tomorrow you file a public interest litigation against the government, successive governments of Jammu and Kashmir for misinterpreting and misusing central government acts and Article 370 as convenient. Because they have done it, I have shown the proof to you. Take them to court for this and then we'll talk. Right now, let Sambit Patra complete. Yes, Sambit Patra.
No, you have shown good.
See, I was saying that the Shabnam Lone,
calm down. Sambit, I have limited time. Shabnam Lone, please don't intervene right now. Yes, Sambit Patra.
I bet you many IAS officers, they have taken the money. Many ministers.
Sambit Patra.
I just have a very quick question. We need to wrap up. We are way over time over here, but I just want to quickly ask.
Yeah, I just want to complete this.
Because you told us, Sambit, that the centre has already made its submission in the court. and you have said that the centre will look into it, they will sit and talk with the state government on it. What about the other states, Sambit? Will this be followed soon? Because there are a lot of other states, including some BJP ruled states, where there is not even a National Minorities Commission Act yet. So will this be applied elsewhere? That's the point that other panelists have also raised, and we must address that. It's not just about Jammu and Kashmir.
In fact, Mr. Ankur Sharma, the petitioner, is present over here. The same question was raised on the floor of the Supreme Court as well. And the Supreme Court said, forget other states. We are going to direct you. We are going to discuss.
Yeah, that is because in this case, as far as the legality of the case is concerned, Shabnam, it's very simple. Ankur Sharma is from Jammu.
I'll tell you very frankly.
He's from Jammu. He's going to speak about his state. My question to you is, because you are also here representing BJP, which is at the centre and in several other state governments, that if a change has to be brought, and if we have to ensure that the people who are rightfully deserving of these schemes should get these schemes and should be safeguarded and protected, then we have to do it elsewhere also, Sambit. We can't limit it to Jammu and Kashmir.
No, all the
completely
states,
out of time here, and
all
we need to start wrapping up.
That you, Tanvi,
yes,
it's a longish question. Let me answer that.
Yes.
If the question only, sorry, Tanvi, if the question alone continues, I would not be able to answer. Tanvi, first and foremost, in most of the states that you are mentioning as BJP ruled states, in fact, the minorities in these states are getting their due right.
Okay.
Why do we have this discussion on Jammu and Kashmir? Because despite Jammu and Kashmir having 68.3% Muslim population, the minorities, in fact, the Hindus, the Buddhists, the Jains and the Sikhs, they are
Christians
kept at abeyance. And this has been what the governments have been following since decades, and this needs to change. That is why we are discussing Jammu and Kashmir.
Yes,
that
the
is
point.
It. And I was completing this point. The Supreme Court point was extremely important. In 2002, the Supreme Court had said that since the states are reorganized on linguistic basis, so minorities have to be decided on state basis.
Yes, we read that judgment out. We read that part out, and we said that the state has to decide on linguistic and religious minorities. The state that has to decide, they have not decided. RSN Singh had to make a point, and Naved Hamid too. I have to be fair to them. Please.
And Shabnam Lone, remember.
Sorry, sir, I have no time. I have no time. I have no time. RSN Singh, final word, sir.
Sabnam Lone.
Anand, by appropriating the minority status, what in effect they have done is that they have denied the minority, the minority benefits that could have accrued to the Buddhists of Ladakh, or or the Shiites of Kargil, or even the Hindus of Jammu. That has not happened. They have lacked in physical, institutional and psychological development at the cost of Kashmir Valley, which by claiming minority
my position, sir, this debate rages on. We'll ask questions of all the mantris, successive chief ministers and successive home ministers and successive governments, centre and state. Have they misused and deliberately burnt the candle from both ends? Sushil Pandit, from the point you raised, we end this debate way over time, sir. We will debate this. We will debate this. This minority debate rages on. Because our point is, sir, majority practiced elsewhere, the intolerance brigade wakes up. It's happening in Jammu and Kashmir brazenly, and nobody is bothered. Why? We leave our viewers with that question.
Anand.
This debate continues. This debate will continue here on the Newshour. But tonight, we are out of time. Thank you very much. Ankur, thanks a lot for joining us.